Before we start this, full disclosure, I have both an Xbox Series X and a PlayStation 5. Back in the day, I had both a PlayStation 4 Pro and an Xbox One X, as well as the base Xbox One and the base PlayStation 4, okay? I like to think I'm not a huge fanboy. I can't say that I prefer my Xbox more. I play my Xbox the most, and with the Xbox One X at the time performed better than the PlayStation 4 Pro. My Xbox One X was my Microsoft exclusive and multi-platform console, and my PlayStation was my PlayStation exclusive console. And I couldn't imagine missing out on God of War. I couldn't imagine missing out on The Last of Us 2, which I kind of wish I did now, because The Last of Us 2 was complete garbage, but that's an argument for another time. So, as I said, before we start this video, full disclosure, I have both consoles. I could say I prefer my Xbox more, not to say that the PlayStation is crap. Obviously, they did a great job with their exclusives, but full discretion. Want to label me fanboy, say, yo, man, Daskillva, mad fanboy, that's okay. But yeah, so let's get into the video. So I don't really know how to make an intro. We'll try this out. Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. It's your boy Daskillva, and you're watching Daskillva Games. Here we talk about the latest and greatest stuff happening in the video game industry and video game news. Today I'm here to convince you that these comparisons that are going on right now between PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X are completely pointless, okay? Completely pointless. And I'm going to tell you why, okay? So as you all know, when it comes to these comparison videos, the PlayStation 5, for some reason, is always coming out on top. Even if it's by a small margin, and everyone is going crazy, they're blowing it up. You have these concerned trolls showing up on message boards, always trying to take a crap on the Series X and trying to make people feel bad for the console they bought, which is completely ridiculous. So I'm here to talk to you about why these comparisons, they don't matter, okay? And you know why? Because never in history has the beginning of a console generation been the determining factor of what a console is capable of, okay? We didn't use this when Xbox One and PS4 came out. We didn't use this when 360 and PS3 came out. It's not a good way to measure how strong a system is and what it's fully capable of. And you know what? When it comes to this generation in particular, what is going on is unprecedented in the industry. Now, for the first time in a long time, actually for the first time ever, developers have to develop games for not one, not two, but 6 different platforms, okay? That's the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, the Xbox One X, the PlayStation 4 Pro, the Series X, and the PS5, which means these developers have to develop some kind of engine that can function on 6 different platforms, okay? This clearly is not taking full capability of either the Series X or the PlayStation 5, but somehow this has gone into a complete crazy argument where people are going insane, going, oh my god, the PlayStation 5, the weaker system, it's beating the Series X and everything, which I don't quite understand, considering that in Call of Duty Cold War, I think they're the same, except for in the 120 FPS mode, the PlayStation 5 slightly held a higher FPS. Assassin's Creed, once again, it was the screen tearing on the Series X version, but if you had VRR on, which something at the moment isn't on PlayStation 5, the screen tearing was gone. Now, this isn't trying to make an excuse for Ubisoft. Clearly, they should have developed their game, because not everyone has a VRR set to not have the screen tearing that it does. But once again, they said the PlayStation 5 version, about 15 to 30%, I don't know who makes up these numbers, better than the Series X version, okay? You have Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition running the exact same, almost on both consoles, where the Series X wins in the 60 FPS mode, and then on the 120 FPS mode, the PlayStation 5 holds a higher 120 FPS than the Series X. And now the big hot topic is Dirt 5, okay? So the latest controversy, as you all know, is Dirt 5, okay? By Codemasters. This is causing message boards to blow up like crazy, which I don't quite understand. Because, once again, Dirt 5 is being developed between 6 different platforms, okay? And now, the PlayStation 5 version is running clearly way better than the Xbox Series X version when it comes to the 120 FPS mode. Actually, you know what? Way better is a little bit of a stretch. The 120 FPS mode had screen tearing on the PlayStation 5 version, which wasn't on the Series X version. But regardless, okay, the big thing that's going on these days is everyone is just going crazy for these Dirt 5 comparisons, which I'm pretty sure the people that were watching the video by Digital Foundry must have clearly, like, I don't know, they must have watched it on mute, okay? That's what I'm thinking. They must have watched it on mute because they clearly didn't hear that Jonathan and Richard were clearly stating that, hey, you know what? This must have had, the Series X version must have clearly been bugged. There must be some kind of bug in the Series X version that's causing it to have this kind of texture tessellation, and it's causing the 120 FPS mode to have Xbox Series S assets. But no one wants to listen to that, okay? No, these PlayStation fanboys, they shut their ears, they put their head in the sand, and they just like, no. The PlayStation 5 version is way better. There's no bug. There's no bug in the Xbox Series X version. Our God, our Savior, Mark Cerny, he told us that teraflops don't matter. Teraflops don't matter, okay? 12 teraflops, that's nothing, okay? Because the PlayStation 5 is so well developed that their SSD is so amazing that it somehow makes up for a difference in GPU and CPU strength. Somehow an SSD, okay, makes up for GPU and CPU strength, which is completely bonkers. Anyways, these guys keep saying, oh, the geometry engine is RDNA 3 on the PlayStation 5, okay? Because I don't get it. Because I guess Mark Cerny went in the future, went to 2021, and they grabbed RDNA 3 features and they brought it back to that PlayStation 5 to make it as amazing as it is, okay? The geometry engine is not special to the PlayStation 5. Do a quick Google search and you will find that the Xbox Series X has a geometry engine as well. It was in their hot chip presentation, okay? So clearly this is all going down to a bug. And the fact that there's more, but I'll just show it and I'll discuss that on later on. But let's discuss what is going on. And I have some other evidence that I can show, okay? So here we have a tweet by Robert Kirk. He's a developer on Dirt 5. And we have this lovely account, Xbox Series, messaging him saying, hey, you know what, Robert? PlayStation, Xbox Series X fans, they're a little bit disappointed. You know, they don't know what's going on with the Series X version of Dirt 5. You know, Microsoft has been promoting you all this time. What's going on? And, you know, despite what these crazy fanatics want you to believe, you have this guy right here acknowledging it. This isn't the final result. You shouldn't say this isn't the final result when you ship the game at full retail price, but that's a different discussion to be had, okay? We already have an update in the works that fixes many of the things in the video, and as well as addressing a bunch of other stuff. We also have a big post-launch support plan, so please stay tuned, okay? So as you can see, you have the developer acknowledging that, like, hey, you know what? We've seen the Digital Foundry video. We acknowledge that there is issues with the Series X version, and we already have a patch coming out to fix it. We've seen this already with the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X, with games like Titanfall 2, where they ran very similar on the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X, and then the Xbox One X got their patch, and then it ran better than the PlayStation 4 Pro version. Not saying that the Series X version of the game is going to run better than the PlayStation 5. I'm only imagining it'll probably run on par, and if it does run better, then that's great, because as you all know, the console is stronger, okay? And this brings us to our next topic, okay, which is there's been some rumors going around that the Xbox Series X version is running the way that it is because the game developing kits came out later, which is true. You can see here we have John Linehan, the guy who works at Digital Foundry. Mate, Dirt 5 was created by many ex-Evolution Studio folks. You know, the Sony first-party studio that was bought by Codemasters. So, as you know, these developers obviously have more experience when it comes to working with the PlayStation 5, and with the rumor being that the PlayStation 5 GDK is something similar to the PlayStation 5 API is similar to the PlayStation 4 Pro's API when it comes to programming games. Which brings us to our next topic, okay? Which is the GDK on the Xbox Series X. You probably read this in a few comment sections saying, hey, you know what? The Series X, Microsoft was waiting for RDNA 2 to be finished, and they didn't want to ship out the GDK until RDNA 2 was done and all the features were implemented, which means that the RDNA 2 didn't come out until June 2020. So I said the big topic after is the Xbox Series X GDK, and everyone going, oh man, this is Xbox Cloud all over again. Okay, Xbox Cloud. So we have this amazing conversation between John and a user where he goes, well, I don't understand why PS5 runs better Call of Duty, Cold War, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Xbox Series X is shit. But John replies, no, the X is a very powerful system. The issue from what we've heard is that the development tools are behind. They're still in their infancy on Xbox GDK. I'm sure it'll improve in time. It's just an issue with early releases. I wouldn't worry. But I do not understand. How is it possible to have Assassin's Creed Valhalla and COD Cold War more beautiful on PlayStation 5, while the Xbox Series X has 12 teraflops of full RDNA 2 with DirectX 12, etc. Which John says, tools. That's it. And even then, some people, they're still not a believer. Okay, they still think, you know what? No, this is all nonsense. Okay, and here we have the Microsoft Game Development Kit. So as you can see, it goes, welcome to the June 2020 Microsoft Game Development Kit release. You can use the GDK to develop games that can be certified and approved for release on Windows 10 PCs, Xbox One consoles, and Project Scarlett consoles. For those of you who don't know, that's the Series X and the Series S. In fact, you can target all those devices using a shared code base. In the June 2020 GDK, they installed side by side with GDKs from November 2019 and later. Unlike earlier GDKs, which were in preview for console devices, the June 20 GDK is fully supported for development of commercial games for Xbox console. It addresses many issues that you have reported and contains changes in response to your feedback and suggestions. It's strongly recommended that you adopt the June 2020 GDK and discontinue use of preview GDKs as soon as practical. The following table summarizes approved use of recent GDKs. So as you see the red, you see the yellow, and finally for the June 20 GDK, it goes yes, Xbox One, Scarlett, and game streaming is good, and when it goes approved for CERT and publication to retail, yes, it's all agreed, which means it's good to go. And so as you can see here, that when people are talking to you, oh, GDK, all these Xbox fans are just talking about GDK, they don't know what they're talking about. You have the evidence right here showing like, hey, you know what? It wasn't ready until June. Now, I don't know when the PlayStation 5 GDK was ready. It could have been June as well. Rumor has it was in 2019 that they had the full GDK being done, which gives developers a lot of time to work on their game and to optimize it. So there you have it, folks. Okay, this whole freaking crazy argument that's going on right now that goes, oh, PlayStation 5 versus Xbox Series X. PlayStation 5 completely dominates Xbox. PlayStation 5's God, Mark Cerny is our hero, yada yada. All this stuff is useless. Considering that the Xbox GDK wasn't ready till June, you're not going to have games optimized for the console by this time. Couple that in with the fact that these developers are all making games across 6 platforms instead of 2, and they're all developing these games from home with the big bad virus that's going on right now. Development has shifted like crazy. This stuff is unprecedented before in any generation of consoles. Okay, no generation before had developers have to develop for 6 different platforms from home. So just give it some time. I know everyone keeps saying, Microsoft fans, they always can say, wait till this, wait till that. Just wait, okay? It's going to be okay. You don't have to go run and return your Series X's. It's going to be fine. All this stuff is not a big deal. And just remember, never in the history of consoles has the weaker spec console on similar architecture outperformed the console that's stronger, okay? The PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, remember back in the day, 1.8 teraflops versus 1.18. People are going crazy saying the Xbox One isn't a next-gen console because it runs 1.18 teraflops and the 0.62 2 difference in teraflops was enough to make the PlayStation 4 the #1 console. Remember, back then it was all about power. All about power. PlayStation 4 more powerful, 1.8 teraflops. And then when the Xbox One X came out, 6 teraflops versus 4.2, the 1.8 teraflop difference doesn't matter. It's not going to show in games. And now we have a 3 teraflop difference between consoles, one being fully RDNA 2 and the other one isn't. And people are saying teraflops, they don't matter. Never in the history of consoles has the weaker spec console outperformed the stronger spec console. Now I know people are going to run and they're going to say, hey man, PS3 versus Xbox 360. And I hear you. But you got to remember, the PS3 at the time ran on cell architecture, something no developer has ever seen before. And the reason the 360 was beating it out was because it had easy architecture to adapt to. No one understood cell. To this day, I'm pretty sure no one understands cell architecture, okay? So it happened with the Xbox One X. It happened with the base PS4. And you know what? Unless Sony knows some kind of crazy magic, it's probably going to happen with the Xbox Series X as well. Just give it some time, let the developers get used to the tools, or at least get them full of tools, and the Series X will be just okay. And I guarantee you the PlayStation 5 will be good too. So I was editing the video and then I realized I had no ending. And I forgot the best part of any YouTube video, where it's the part where I tell you guys to smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, and ring that bell. So that way you don't miss any of my videos. I know it's a new channel. It's my first video I made. Hopefully you guys liked it. If you guys want to see any more videos, let me know. Leave a comment in the comment section. Feel free to share your opinions on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X performance. Please keep it civil. Don't be toxic to each other and start name calling everyone. Have a nice civil discussion in the comment section. Let me know if you liked it, what I can improve on, and thanks for watching.